Whenever I see you, I always hear the words discipline, honor, respect, courage.
Good, I love that. Great.
Right?
Great.
I got it down.
Yes, you nailed it.
So you have said over and over again that this is what One Championships represents.
Yes, absolutely. One championship is simply a celebration of Asia's greatest cultural treasure. If you think about it, martial arts has been here for 5,000 years. It's the birthplace of martial arts. But what I want to do is celebrate it in its authenticity, which is the values. See, martial arts is not about fighting or violence. That's the biggest misconception. It's actually a way of parents to pass on the values of integrity, humility, honor, respect, courage, discipline, compassion. Why do parents put kids in martial arts schools all over the continent?
Yes, true.
It's not for violence. It's to learn those values. It's if you want to discipline your child, if you want them to learn work ethic and courage, respect,
yes,
you send them to martial arts school. So it's the foundation, it's the foundational values of Asian society across the entire continent.
Yeah. So before I talk about the success of the One Championships, I want to talk about you.
Sure.
So you were a martial artist.
Yes. Still am, every day.
Oh, you're still practicing?
Train every day, 35 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you're a Muay Thai specialist.
Yes.
Given that you're from Thailand.
Yes, that's correct.
So,
I do Muay Thai and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay. So how did this One Championship all begin? From you being a fighter to being the brainchild of all these.
So when I was very poor, after my family had lost their home and my father had abandoned us when I was much younger, I thought naively, because we were eating one meal a day, and my mother, was watching your mother cry every day.
And where were you living at this time?
Thailand, and then eventually the U.S. I thought naively that the answer to happiness was money. I thought, if I could be really, really rich, then my mom would not suffer, and my younger brother wouldn't suffer. And so, anyways, I spent a time as an entrepreneur in Silicon Valley, and then in Wall Street for 10 years, and I had made it financially. But I remember very well, I was like around 35, 36 years old, and I didn't understand the meaning of life anymore. I said, having houses and cars and money, that was nice, and then being able to provide for my mother, but I still felt a deep emptiness. And that was when I said, I have to do something meaningful with my life. I have to go out and make an impact. Instead of just trying to make money for myself, I thought, what can I do? And I went back to my greatest passion in life, martial arts. I said, I want to do something that I love. I want to do something that has my soul ignited.
But it's interesting that at that point, you were still very poor, but you already had that dream of not only taking care of yourself and your family, but, helping others as well.
Well, it's funny because my mother, and this is like, ever since I was, and this is kind of crazy, when I was 5 years old, and I still remember it, the one thing she always said, she said, Chatri, you're going to grow up to help the world.
Wow, really?
And I, of course, when I'm 12 years old, rebellious, I'm like, what is this motherly gibberish, right?
Yeah.
But those words echoed when I got older and older, and I was on Wall Street, and I was financially successful.
Fantastic.
But I was like, what am I doing with my life? So then I said, I'm going to come back to Asia. And then one thing led to another, and I said, I want to do my greatest passion, martial arts. And then as I researched the market, I realized there was no global sports property in the entire continent, literally. But yet in America, you had NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball,
right,
all worth $80 billion or $50 billion in terms of market value. Then you go to Europe, F1, EPL, Champions League, the same thing, worth tens of billions of dollars. Then you come to Asia, and there's literally nothing on a Pan-Asian basis or global basis. So I said, okay, I am going to start Asia's first multi-billion-dollar global sports media property, and it was very naive. When I look back on it, it was very, very, very difficult.
So I'm sure it just didn't all happen, right? So how did you start? From the time that your mom told you that you were going to be helping the world, from having this dream in your heart.
Right. Well, I'll tell you, the first 3 years of One Championship was absolute disaster. Literally failure after failure after failure, rejection after rejection every single day.
Interesting.
So I would go to a broadcaster and say, I'd like to, I'm thinking about this concept. Would you like to air my content? No. I'd go to a brand. Would you be interested in sponsoring? No. Athletes? No. Governments? I said, can I come into your country and throw this event? No.
Really?
And it was nonstop rejection, nonstop failure, where, myself and I, my friend and I, we'd pumped in, a significant amount of capital for 3 years, and literally nothing was happening. Nothing. No TV ratings, no broadcast hours.
For 3 years?
For 3 years straight, rejection
and this
after
was
rejection.
Just in 2011, right?
Yeah, so 2011 to 2014, literally, nothing was going on.
Wow.
Like, we would throw events, we'd do this and that, etc., but nobody was giving us a chance.
No filled-up stadiums?
Nobody was giving us a chance at all. And
so how did you turn it around? What sparked?
I think we got very lucky in that the rise of social media and the rise of technology and smart mobile devices is literally why One Championship took off. In that millennials, they love short-form, exciting, edge-of-the-seat content. Our content happened to be perfect. If you think about you've been to an event, how high-paced the action, the drama.
Yeah, you can hardly breathe.
You're not going to watch a soccer game or a basketball game on your mobile app. You can't even see the ball, actually, right?
Interesting.
You're going to watch a 4-quarter basketball game, too long. But our content was a few minutes, bite-sized. And so as social media took off, because our content was viral, everyone was sharing it. And we were like, wow. And so once we showed the stats to broadcasters, then everyone started, because what was happening was the fan base spoke organically, the millennial fan base. 80% of our audience is millennials. So it really just ignited. So again, I almost feel like the Forrest Gump of martial arts. I got very, very lucky. I was very naive to think I could pull this off. And then, lo and behold, social media, smartphones, and tech saved me.
Wonderful. Talk about a lesson of not giving up, perseverance, right?
Oh, no, it's actually funny because at the end of the year 3, I called my mother. She's a Japanese lady. I'm half Thai, half Japanese. She's a very conservative Japanese lady. And I said, Mom, it's so hard. And actually, when I first started One Championship, she was very against it because it didn't fit the image for her of what her son should be doing. Her son, being on Wall Street in a suit and tie was very prestigious for her as a conservative Japanese lady.
Yeah.
So she said, Chatri, do not do this business. It's just a terrible business. And so when I called her after end of year 3, I'm like, Mom, this is so much harder than I expected. Nothing's happening. We're just failing every day. And she said to me, Chatri, why don't you just quit then? And then I hung up the phone. And I said, yeah, why don't I just quit? And then my fire just raged huge. There's no way I'm going to quit.
Really?
This is my greatest passion in life. What is my mom talking about? But I have a feeling my mom said those words because she knew it would
challenge you.
Yeah, it would. So, and then literally our video views in 2014 went from 300,000 for the whole year to 5 billion.
Wow.
In the next few years.
300,000 to 5 billion.
Like that.
Wow.
In 3 years.
Okay, so suddenly then the world noticed. So now, I mean, I was in your the last card I've been to was the very first one in Tokyo, which was super exciting. I mean, the energy is of course amazing in every card.
Yes.
But where do you find, are the audiences different wherever you go? Like I know you're in Shanghai, Beijing, Jakarta. I mean, do you have to put up a different show in every country?
Well, our formula for success is values, heroes, and stories. Values, celebrating values of integrity, humility, honor, respect, courage, discipline, compassion. Heroes, building heroes for the world, true role model for society, and then telling their stories of conquering impossible odds, adversity, tragedy, etc. If you think about that formula, values, heroes, and stories, that is scalable across humanity. So I always say our genre might be martial arts, but our platform is humanity. So to answer your question, going each country, as long as you're celebrating wholesome values, you're presenting heroes who are defending the honor and glory of the country. You're telling their remarkable stories of overcoming a tragedy, adversity, poverty, whatever it is. It really ignites the entire country, and that's why our TV ratings have exploded. But funny thing is, if you think about the Olympics, okay, Olympics is the most watched event in the world. Every 4 years, 1 billion viewers.
More than the World Cup, Olympics, and then the World Cup.
Right, exactly. They're both about 1 billion. Olympics is values, heroes, and stories as well. And so that's why it's become a phenomenon. And that's why I genuinely believe that One Championship will become the world's largest sports media property, because there is nothing like values, heroes, and stories to inspire the world, to change the world, and to make a positive impact on millions and eventually billions of people from our fan base across the entire world.
Yeah, well, and aren't we lucky that it's airing on SNA in the Philippines, so we can enjoy it.
So I would not be surprised if Edward Falayang, upsets Eddie Alvarez. I would not be surprised if he ends up going for another world title.